Okay, live stream is up. Sergeants, will you begin your recordings? PC recording is up.
All recording rolling.
Thank you. All right, good afternoon and welcome to today's New York City Council hearing on land use. At this time, will all panelists please turn on your videos. To minimize disruption, place electronic devices on vibrate or in silent mode. Now, thank you, Chair. You're ready to begin.
Thank you, Sergeant of Arms, and good afternoon, and welcome to the Committee on Land Use. I am Councilmember Rafael Salamanca, Chair of this committee. I wanted to welcome my esteemed colleagues who have joined us today. We've been joined by Council members Botcher, Hanks, Kagan, Christian, Moyak, Chair Riley, Rivera, Sanchez, and Minority Leader Borelli. I would like to thank Chair Lewis and Chair Riley for their work on our two subcommittees. Today, we will vote on a number of applications referred out from our subcommittees. But before we begin, I would like to recognize the committee counsel to review the hearing procedures.
Thank you, Chair Salamanca. I am Arthur Ha, counsel to this committee. Council members who would like to ask questions or make remarks should use the Zoom raise hand function. The raise hand button should appear at the bottom of your participant panel or main viewing window. Chair Salamanca or I will then recognize members to speak. We ask that you please be patient. If any technical difficulties arise today, Chair Salamanca will now continue with today's agenda.
Thank you, Council. I would like to also ensure that I recognize that we've been also joined by Chair Lewis. I will first note that LU items 16, 17, and 18 and 19 on today's agenda have been laid over. Today, we will vote to approve the modifications LU's numbers 32 and 33 for the 3285 Fulton Street rezoning related to property in Council Member Nurse's district. The proposal would reduce an existing commercial overlay district boundary, rezone an R5/C2-3 district to an R7A/C2-4 district, and establish an MIH program area utilizing option 1 and 2. Our modifications will be to decrease the proposed rezoning area by excluding portions of the Fulton Street frontage. Accordingly, we will also modify the proposed zoning text amendment so that the proposed MIH area is consistent with our modified rezoning area, and we will also modify the MIH options by striking option 2 and adding the deep affordability option while retaining option 1. Finally, our modification will remove the proposed special enhanced commercial district. With these modifications, we are allowing the creation of a new 100% affordable housing development through MIH and otherwise would not have been able to be developed on this block. At the same time, we want to balance new growth with protecting existing residents from displacement. Land use patterns in the immediate surrounding area are reflected by primarily lower scale 2-story townhouses on the north-south side streets and mixed-use 3-story row houses with ground floor commercial along Fulton Street. In contrast, R7A districts allow development up to 95 feet in height and up to a maximum residential FAR of 4.6. These bulk rules are significantly more permissive in terms of both density and height than the prevailing built character. Thus, while not the intent, the subzoning could result in displacement of existing residents without the protections of rent regulations. By modifying to limit the boundaries of the rezoning area, we aim to strike a balance between encouraging new residential development with MIH to address the citywide need for affordable housing and preserving the established character of this area. We will also vote to approve the modifications LU's numbers 29 and 30 for the 1377 Sutter Avenue rezoning related to property in Council Member Barron's district. The proposal would rezone an R5 district to an R6A/C24 district and establish an MIH program area utilizing option 1 and 2. A modification would be to reduce the proposed rezoning area by excluding portions of the Sutter Avenue frontage. We will make a corresponding reduction to the proposed MIH area, and we will modify the MIH options by striking option 2 and adding the deep affordability while retaining option 1. By implementing these modifications, we are allowing the creation of a new 100% affordable housing development through MIH that otherwise would have not been able to be developed on the site. We also want to balance new growth with protecting existing residents from displacement. Land use pattern in the immediate surrounding area are reflected by lower scale, semi-attached residential buildings, generally with 2 or 3 stories. On the other hand, an R6A district allow development up to 85 feet in height and up to an FAR of 3.6. These bulk rules, which are significantly higher in density than the prevailing build character, and upzoning of this degree will result in displacement of existing residents without the protection of rent regulation. Reducing the rezoning area with our modifications is an attempt to balance encouraging new residential development with MIH while addressing the citywide need for additional affordable housing and preserving the established character of the area. We will also vote to approve the modifications LUs 20, 20, 21, and 22 related to 1034-1042 Atlantic Avenue, rezoning proposed in Councilmember Hudson's district in Brooklyn. This proposal seeks a zoning map amendment to rezone an existing M1-1 district to a C6-3A and an R7A/C2-4 district. A related zoning text amendment to establish an MIH program area utilizing option 1 and 2, and a special permit to reduce residential off-street parking. A modification would be to reduce the rezoning boundaries and to strike MIH option 2 and add deep affordability option while retaining option 1. For nearly a decade, past and present council members, borough presidents, and community board members, together in coalition with community advocates, have all pushed for a city-led neighborhood plan for an area around Atlantic Avenue that encompasses both of the rezoning proposal before us today. The M-Crown planning vision calls for a dynamic mixed-use community with city investments in affordable housing creation and preservation, street design, and public realm improvements, and all aspects of infrastructure necessary to support increased density. Councilmember Hudson has secured a commitment from the administration to undertake a community-wide plan for this area of Atlantic Avenue, which will ensure that the growth of this neighborhood will be accompanied by a robust public planning process and city investments. A modification for the 1034 Atlantic Avenue proposal would allow the creation of a new affordable housing development through MIH that otherwise would not be possible on the development site. Councilmember Hudson has secured unprecedented commitments by deeply affordable housing and community benefits from the applicant, with a commitment to 35% of the units set aside for affordable housing, with 15% at 40% AMI, 15% at 60% AMI, and 5% at 80% AMI. Our modifications will also reduce the proposed rezoning area to maintain more of the existing M zone in an effort to maintain a broad mix of land use in the area until the comprehensive planning effort to treat the broader community can be realized. Also in Councilmember Hudson's district, we will vote to approve the modifications LUs 23, 24, and 25 related to the 870-888 Atlantic Avenue rezoning proposal. This proposal seeks a zoning map amendment to rezone an existing M1-1 district to a C6-3A district and a related zoning text amendment to establish an MIH program area utilizing option 2 and the workforce option and a special permit to reduce the residential off-street parking. A modification would be to strike MIH option 2 and the workforce option and add option 1 and the deep affordability option. This application has also committed to 35% of the units set aside for affordable housing, with a 15% at 40% AMI, 15% at 60% AMI, and 5% at the 80% AMI. Both applicants have also committed to provide to mixed-use community serving space, contributions to anti-displacement organizations, and other benefits. I would like to congratulate Councilmember Hudson for negotiating this package. Congratulations, Councilmember. You did an outstanding job ensuring that you got the best deal possible. You went far and beyond what MIH actually requires, and I truly congratulate you on this big win for yourself and your community. And with that, are there any council members who have questions or remarks? Please use the raise hand button. Council, is there anyone with their hands up?
Chair, Councilmember Sanchez has her hand raised.
Councilmember Sanchez. You have to unmute yourself, council member. Yeah. Can we unmute Councilmember Sanchez, please?
We'll take care of that.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to join you in congratulating Councilmember Hudson on this negotiation. It was a difficult one. And I just want to chime in and say, you know, we do have an affordable housing crisis in New York City. We also have a dismal rate of production. We're not building enough housing in the city of New York, but that doesn't mean that we just let anything be built whenever, however, you know, wherever if folks want to build it, right? We need to protect our communities. We need to, you know, do everything we can to fight displacement. And that's the kind of negotiation that Councilmember Hudson drove today. So I just want to congratulate her. And, you know, all of our colleagues should really look at this as an example for, you know, the way that we have to push back. And it's not just anything goes, but it is, you know, what does your community need? What does the folks that need the most in the city, how do we help them? And how is each development project going to be contributing to the crisis, to the solving of the crisis in the city of New York? So thank you so much, Chair Salamanca, for all your work on this, and congratulations to Councilmember Hudson.
Thank you, Councilmember Sanchez. Council, is there any other members who wish to speak?
No, Chair. I see no other members with their hands raised.
All right, great.
Excuse me, Councilmember Barron with a hand raised.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I recognize Councilmember Barron.
Yes, I just joined you. Did my project come up, the Sutter Avenue?
Yes, Councilmember. I believe we spoke on your project. Would you like to speak on it?
Yes, I wanted to say that I'm in support of it 100%. And as Councilmember Sanchez says, we don't want just anything. We have to demand affordability. So we started off with a project that was not affordable, and now it's 28 units, and 20 of those units will be at 40 and 30% of the AMI, and the other 8 units will be at 60% of the AMI. You know, we had to change our priority of the AMI years ago. It was 80 and 60, like 60% of the AMI was 64,000, and matter of fact, was even lower. 80% of the AMI years ago was 64,000, and 60% was like 30, 40,000, which was in our range. But now with the AMI at 104,000, it's 60 and 30. So they did make the adjustment, and they kept it for 60 years. I was trying to get it in perpetuity, but they are going to keep that kind of affordability for, instead of 30 years, 60 years. And as I told the zoning committee, I'm 70 years old. They thought I was going to die by 130, but I will be around to make sure even when I get to 130, when the 60 years is up, that they keep it affordable. So I'm not going nowhere. And, you know, even if I have to stay around to 200 years to make sure the affordability is in perpetuity. But, and also make sure when they're zoning that it's just for that project, it's not for a whole extended area, so that they don't make the zoning changes for the whole block or 2 blocks, and it should be just that area. And they're gonna take care of the commercial people that are already there now. So it's a project that the community board approved, I approved, and it's 100% affordable. And I thank you, Chair, for your encouragement and your willingness to intervene, to do whatever we could to make this happen. So it has happened. It's 100% affordable.
Congratulations, Councilmember Barron. I know we spoke a few times on this project, and I really want to congratulate you for your good work. Thank you. Council, are there any other members who wish to speak?
No, Chair, I see no other members with hand raised to speak.
All right, thank you. So I now call for a vote in accordance with the recommendations of the subcommittees to adopt the following to approve the modifications I've described: LUs 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 29, 30, 32, and 33. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. Good afternoon. William Martin, Committee Clerk. Roll call vote, Committee on Land Use. All items are coupled. Chair Salamanca.
Aye on all.
Moya.
I vote aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Lewis,
I vote aye.
Riley,
I vote aye.
Brooks Powers,
Aye on all.
thank you. Botcher,
I vote aye.
Hanks,
I vote aye.
Kagan,
Aye.
Krishnan,
Aye on all.
Sanchez.
Aye on all.
Thank you. One moment. Borelli,
Aye on all. Thank you.
thank you. By a vote of 12 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, all items have been approved by the committee as described by the chair.
Thank
Mr. Chair.
you.
Close at your convenience.
Thank you, Clerk. I would like to thank the members of the public, my colleagues, land use, and other council staff, and the Sergeant at Arms for attending today's hearing. This meeting is